Hello, welcome to Jason the Millennial. I'm outside the theater again here in Leavenworth. Just got out to see the big kind of summer blockbuster movie, Superman, the new Superman movie by James Gunn. And yeah, it's kind of an early screen. Got to see it, in the early afternoon. It was kind of cool to get to see it kind of day early. And yeah, definitely one of the most hyped up movies, one of the most anticipated movies of the summer. And I'm here to say it was really good. Like, I had a lot of fun with this movie. I mean, this is what summer movies are about. Just real popcorn, action, fun movies. And it was an action, adventurous, real fun movie. A kind of different take of Superman, I feel like. This Superman, not as stoic as other Supermans. He's a little more emotional. I don't know if I like that quite right now, but there's a lot to think about on this movie overall. But Nicholas Hoult was great as Lex Luthor, and Lex Luthor was definitely a formidable foe. There's some great action sequences, of course, the kaiju scene, and there's a couple henchmen that he has to fight. Those were all great. I really loved the Justice Gang. It was probably my favorite part of the movie. With Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. He was probably my favorite character in the whole movie. Definitely had the best laughs in the movie. Mr. Fantastic was great too. His scenes were really, really good. Like, I definitely can see a movie with him in it. So a lot of the scenes with Mr. Fantastic and Superman were really good. In fact, Mr. Fantastic had a lot of scenes in this movie, probably more than anybody else outside the Superman character. And just the scenes with them together, the Justice Gang, and Hawkgirl was in there as well, definitely were a lot of fun. Again, you do get a James Gunn feel to this movie. He does put his fingerprints on it, so you do get some comedy in there. Not all of it works, but most of it I think it did pretty well. Especially, like I said, Nathan Fillion was very funny in the movie. Crypto was in a lot of this movie, definitely a big part of the advertisement. And yeah, he has a lot of annoying scenes, but then he has some heroic scenes that help Superman as well. So yeah, not a lot to say except that it's just a really fun movie. I think maybe my favorite movie so far this year, in fact. So it was nice to see so many movies disappointed me so far this year. It was nice to get a fun movie that I just had a blast with anyway. So yeah, a lot of good things to say about this. A couple negatives here and there, but I'll get to that when I get back home. So I'll see you there here on Jason the Old Millennial. Hello everybody, I'm here back in my basement in the great state of Kansas, and talk a little bit more about Superman, which I saw earlier today, early this afternoon. And so cool to get to see it on a Thursday afternoon before I have to go to work today, so that was good to kind of get that in, and I get to do a review. Coming out, I wasn't sure what to think about this Superman movie, because it's just, like I said, this is definitely a very important kind of movie for the DC universe, because I feel like this movie needs to be a success to keep this, because it's kind of rebooting the DC universe basically, and this is definitely the first big movie that they've done. It's the first movie that really James Gunn has done besides doing Suicide Squad. So definitely this is big to as we go on, because if this is successful, then they keep making more DC movies and continue to expand that universe, the DC universe, as it is under James Gunn. And of course, James Gunn gets to keep his job for a little bit longer and gets to have more creative control over everything. So very big movie, and curious how it does. Like I said in my review outside the theater, I thought it was a really good movie, actually. I think it's one of the best movies I've seen so far this year. I might say it's probably the best movie I've seen so far this year. And it's a movie that, you're kind of anticipating, oh gosh, is it going to be disappointing? Because so many movies have been disappointing. Mission Impossible was super disappointing. Karate Kid Legends was disappointing. Even Jurassic Park Rebirth, I thought was a disappointing movie. I don't know. A lot of the movies I was really hyped up for were disappointing. This is one of the few ones where it really matched my expectations of a good superhero action, fun movie, And so I'm very happy to come out and go, oh man, finally we get a good superhero movie. It feels like we haven't got a lot of those lately. And this year actually been maybe a little bit better than most years, because the last couple of years have been really bad as far as superhero movies go. Thunderbolt I didn't think was very good. I gave it 2.5 stars. While Captain America: Brave New World, and these are Marvel movies, I thought it was actually pretty good. I actually enjoyed that movie. Gave it 3.5 stars. I think the Superman movie is better than those two movies. So it's been the best superhero movie so far. And we still got Fantastic Four coming out this month. So that'll be the last one. We can compare all 4 of them and say who did the best. Though Marvel has, I guess, 3 movies out and DC has 1 movie out. But DC might come out ahead if Fantastic Four isn't better than this one. We might come out saying DC made the best decision, putting James Gunn behind the wheel, and DC might come out saying this was a real success, having James Gunn kind of take over the DC universe, and this is kind of the first big movie in the universe in a sense that really is going to set the tone for the rest of the movies. So this is overall, I think, a very big success for them, and I was expected to make pretty good money and be hyped up more than the other movies, other blockbusters. It's been, like I said, like Jurassic Park Rebirth even, I gave a good score. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Thought it was just a fun movie, had some fun action sequences. This I thought was much better story-wise. Jurassic Park World Rebirth story was not that great. This, I thought story worked much better. I thought it was a much better written movie. Like I said, this is better than about any DC movie that's come out in a long time, since like Wonder Woman. This is maybe the last DC movie I've really liked in quite a while, and that was a while ago. I wasn't even a fan of really the Aquaman movies. I didn't think were that good. Wonder Woman 1984 was terrible, and I can't remember what else came out recently. Suicide Squad was good, so that might be the last good one. Even Birds of Prey was not bad, so there's been some okay ones in there, but this has definitely been the best. Blue Beetle was not that great. I thought it was kind of boring. Flash, Flash. Yeah, Flash was horrible. That was one of the worst DC movies they've ever made. So yeah, they made some real clunkers lately, and so it's nice. Hopefully they're on a good upswing and have some momentum now going forward with this movie. And yeah, going into the movie, like I said, of course the big talk is, I forget his first name, but Corn Sweat, I believe is his last name, who plays Superman. Overall, he looks great. Like, he has the Superman look. So I was like, yeah, I think it's pretty good casting overall. Definitely has that Superman look and everything. The only problem I have with the character is he seems a little whiny at times, more than the other Supermans. And I would still say I like Christopher Reeves the best. He's still the best Superman. And it's funny that, of course, what I like about this movie, though, actually, is that it's not an origin story, of course. At the beginning of the movie, it tells you, like, Superman has been around for, like, 3 years, I think it says. So this is, like, his 3rd year being, like, Superman and, everybody being aware of him. So we're kind of in just the middle of a Superman story, basically, when we start this movie. So I like that. I like the fact that we don't have to start over and do a whole origin thing. That we can just go, oh, Superman's a thing. Now here's an adventure with him. That actually really helped the movie, I think, and I really like that. The only thing is Superman playing Clark Kent, whatever, is hardly in the movie. There's like one scene where he plays Clark Kent. So that was a little strange, I thought. And no one really calls it out. I'm kind of surprised that by the end of the movie, like, Clark Kent hasn't been in this movie at all. It's basically just been Superman. And I'm surprised nobody at the Daily Planet or whatever, no one really says, hey, where's Clark Kent? Why is Clark Kent never around? Why has Clark Kent been missing for a long time? Wouldn't they be calling him, like, saying, like, hey, why aren't you at work? You've been missing. Because Superman in the movie he actually gets kind of captured, and he gets put in this jail kind of thing for a little while. So I think someone would be like, Clark Kent should be fired because he hasn't been work hardly at all this whole movie. So I'm like, Clark Kent get fired? Does he still have a job? So that was a little weird that they never really called it out. I'll say that's what I like about Christopher Reeves. Christopher Reeves' Clark Kent is so good. I don't think anybody has been able to do a Clark Kent as good as Christopher Reeves. Just totally nailed that. The idea of this nerdy reporter guy that is total opposite of Superman, is this very stoic, very kind of somewhat serious character. Like I said, I feel like this Corn Sweat Superman, just a couple times, like, you have that scene with, as you see in the trailer probably, where he's getting interviewed by Lois Lane and he gets all upset and he gets real yelly And it's like, gosh, she's coming off a little whiny there. Like, I feel like the Henry Cavill and Christopher Reeve Superman would not be like that. They would be somewhat more calm and collected. It feels like this Superman isn't calm and collected. He has outbursts a lot of times, which seems, he seems to have a little more human emotions, even though he's not human, he's a Kryptonian, whatever. So why does he have all these human emotions? It feels a little weird. There's also a scene where you might have it's noticed in the clip that has been out there actually, where he breaks into Lex Luthor's office because he can't find Crypto, whatever, the dog, and he believes that Lex Luthor has the dog, and he runs into the office, crashes in, throws Lex Luthor's table, and he's like, "Where's my dog?" And it's like, geez, this seems a little whiny. And he's getting all upset over his dog. It's just a little weird for Superman. Like, he should be a little more, I feel like Christopher Reeve Superman, he would maybe be emotional, but you can see it more in the face. He didn't have to yell. I don't know. So there's a couple of things there where I don't think he was the best Superman as far as acting wise as Christopher Reeve or Henry Cavill, I would think, were better Supermans, but still not a bad Superman. I should say overall he worked as the character. I think the whole movie actually casted really well. Nicholas Hoult was really good as Lex Luthor, and I knew he would be. Nicholas Hoult is one of my favorite actors out there today. It seems like he's great in everything I see him in. And of course, he has the bald head and everything, and it works very well. I'd probably still say Gene Hackman is my favorite Lex Luthor. I don't think he can beat Gene Hackman, though. He's just set the bar for the Lex Luthor, even though he wasn't even really bald in the first movie, but he was so good. But Nicholas Hoult was definitely very good. I mean, Kevin Spacey wasn't bad either, I guess. We can say that the Lex Luthor in the Superman Snyderverse, Jesse Eisenberg was horrible, so bad. So it was nice to get away from the Jesse Eisenberg, the worst performance I've ever seen as Lex Luthor, and we get a really good performance by Nicholas Hoult. So it's nice to see another good interpretation of the Lex Luthor villain. And I like how Lex Luthor actually really good. I mean, he's the villain. I can't even talk now. The villain of Superman. He is the nemesis, the main nemesis. And it's because of, here they say he's a billionaire, so he's a kind of a good business guy who's a billion-dollar guy. He's also just a genius, smart guy. And he shows that a lot in the movie, how smart he is and how he's able to defeat Superman because he's so smart. He's able to come up with these ideas. Anyway, so I think they do a good job there as well. Like I said, Lois Lane was good. I think, I forget her name, but the girl that plays Lois Lane did a really good job. I think even better than the original. I never really liked Margot Kidder as Lois Lane, but yeah, I thought she did good. I really like I said, Nathan Fillion was maybe the best performance of the whole movie. As far as he's the funniest performance, and I really like Nathan Fillion. He's always an actor I've always enjoyed. And his Guy Gardner was great. He's like the leader of this they call it the Justice Gang. It's him, Hawk Girl, and Mr. Fantastic, and they come in. They're in it quite a bit, actually. It's a Superman movie, but then the Justice Gang has a pretty good. All three of them, well, mostly Mr. Fantastic and Guy Gardner have the best performances there. Hawk Girl feels like she was barely in it, but yeah, Nathan Fillion has some great scenes. Like there's a scene where Lois Lane visits them and wants help because Superman got caught or something, and they need help getting Superman or something. It's a really funny scene, one of my favorite scenes of the movie. And I love that Guy Gardner keeps, pushing this Justice Gang, and everybody else is like, I don't really like the name. And he's like, and there's some good back and forth in there. Anyways, I really like that. The guy who plays Mr. Fantastic, I don't even know who the actor is, but he was really good in the movie. And he had some really good scenes, actually. He might have the second most scenes and most heroic scenes in the movie, to be honest. It was almost like a Mr. Fantastic movie at times. So I thought he was really cool. Never heard of that character before, but really good there. Yeah, so a lot of casting I thought was a really good job. That's good. Like I said, Jesse Eisenberg, horrible. This is better than this, at least better than Superman versus Batman, whatever. That movie was so horrible because the casting was so bad. But like I said, so that was good. The overall story was interesting, and it was always, like I said, it was moving really good. It was really well paced. Had some like scenes with just Superman and Lois Lane that were good, talking about the relationship. But it didn't slow the movie down. Never was boring. I thought it was always something happening, and so it always kept my interest. And that's maybe the most important thing about this movie, is just the fact that I never got bored. It never felt slow. It felt like it moved at a pretty good pace. There's plenty of action scenes coming in, which is what you need in this kind of movie. I mean, this is the opposite of Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible was just slow and boring throughout the whole movie, and then there's like one really cool action scene at the end. Like this, like the people that wrote Mission Impossible, watch this movie. This is how you make an action movie. This is how you pace it, so there's action scenes throughout that will keep your interest, besides the plot elements and, you know, and the relationship elements anyway. So I think it did a really good job with that. There's a big kaiju scene, was actually a really fun scene, where both Superman and the Justice Gang had to fight the kaiju thing in the city. That was really good. And then there's the two henchmen, Ultimate Man, I think it's called, and the engineer, or the two, like Lex Luthor, they call them meta-humans because they have superpowers. Those scenes were really good as well. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. I would say the other criticism I have of the Superman is, I thought was kind of weird, was that he kept getting defeated, it felt like. Like the very first scene, I'm spoiling this a little bit, but you've seen this in some of the trailers, but the very first scene, he gets beat off screen by Ultimate Man, basically. Beats him in a fight and almost kills him, and he has to go back to his, Fortress of Solitude and get some sun to revive himself. And then he goes back into the fight in Metropolis, and then we see him get defeated again by Ultraman, whatever. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, he basically got his butt kicked twice in the first 5 minutes of the movie. And it's like, this is weird. Superman doesn't get defeated very often. Now, there's a plot twist that happens later in the movie that kind of explains why he gets defeated. That kind of makes you go, okay, I kind of get why he got defeated, but still, it's just weird. He hardly ever gets a win in this movie. Even the kaiju scene, he had to have help from the Justice League to defeat that kaiju thing. Basically, Mr. Fantastic really is the one who defeats the kaiju. And then later on, he gets into another fight with Ultraman and Engineer, and they almost kill him again. Like, he basically gets defeated again by these two characters. He does turn it around eventually, get some help from Krypto, and is able to, of course, he wins in the end. But still, it felt like, man, for a Superman movie, he got his butt kicked quite a bit, which is very odd to me. Now, I mean, I'm saying you do need Superman to have conflict. You need to see him almost die. You need to see him almost get defeated. Then he comes out, something happens, and he comes out in the end. But I don't know, this was just a little strange at how many times I felt like he was always getting defeated by the enemy. I feel like we needed some more scenes of him winning and getting some really good wins in there and doing some very heroic stuff. So I think that was a little weird in the story overall. But yeah, that's mostly what I have to say about the movie, I guess. Overall, really fun movie, had some comedic moments, and there's gonna be some criticism that it's James Gunn, so you're always gonna have a lot of, comedic moments that kind of pop out of nowhere. And I don't think it were in the movie, though. I thought the comedic moments worked really well. I don't think it was too much or hurt the movie, in my opinion. And you definitely felt some James Gunn-ness in it, that he has some weird humor that he's going to throw in there. And you get that a little bit, but it wasn't too much. It wasn't as humorous as, I would say, as the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Like, it didn't hit you over the head so hard as those movies, but yet it had some humor in there. But overall, a decent story, that really a good intro into a new Superman, I think. I think it did a good job there, establishing this new Superman and new Lex Luthor and all of that, and did some different things that I've never seen in a Superman movie. So it definitely was different than anything I've seen out of Superman. But yet, overall, though, it was just a very entertaining movie. Just like I said, really good action scenes. It was funny, good versus evil, all that. So I think, yeah, if you're thinking about seeing this movie, I say definitely go see this movie. I think it's going to be one of the best movies of the summer. Movie take your family out to. Definitely, I totally recommend this movie. As I said, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I think it was actually a very excellent action adventure movie, superhero movie. So definitely go see it. And so, yeah, those are my thoughts here on Jason the Old Millennial. Please feel free to comment if you've seen it yet. Tell me what you thought. Besides that, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for liking it, and thank you to all my subscribers for supporting the channel. I appreciate y'all and hope you have a good day.